Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to be learning how to crochet the rice pudding blanket, which is a super cozy blanket to make. It's made with a bulky weight yarn that's super soft. It's also a 2-row repeat, so it's not a very stressful pattern. It's quite simple and fun to make. Our blanket today measures approximately 51 by 55 inches. I'll give you some instruction later on how to adjust the size, and it includes this optional fringe on each end. Today for the tutorial, you're going to need a size M or an 8mm crochet hook. You're also going to need some bulky weight yarn. Super bulky weight yarn. I am working with the Caron Chunky Cakes. There are about 297 yards per ball. You're going to need 7 of these cakes, which includes enough yarn to make your fringe to complete the blanket. A copy of the free written instructions can be found on my website at richtexturescrochet.com, and I'll provide a direct link for you down in the description of this video. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around, say hello down in the comments. This channel is updated every single week with free crochet patterns and stitch tutorials, and blankets are one of my most favorite things to make. So do check out the crochet blanket playlist. Now our blanket pattern today is worked in rows, and we're working along those shorter ends. So you're going to start by making a slip knot and then by working a foundation chain. To get the size that I have made with the 51 inches, you're going to start by chaining 103 chains. If you wish to change the size of your blanket, as I am going to do here today, you're going to need a multiple of 4 stitches plus 3. Today I'm just going to work a swatch so you can see how the blanket is worked. So today I'm going to chain 23 stitches. Once you have worked your 103 chain stitches, you're going to begin row 1 by working a half double crochet into the second chain from your hook, and then half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. You'll see that I'm working into the back bumps of my foundation chain. It really is just personal preference. You can work into any of the loops on your foundation chain. So you're going to work your half double crochet stitches all the way across. At the end of this row, you will have a total of 102 stitches. Your chain 1 at the start does not count as a stitch. At the end of your row 1, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 2, we're going to work a single crochet into that first stitch at the base of your turning chain, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of your row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 3, we're going to begin working some of that texture in our pattern. For row 3, you're going to begin by working a half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. You're then going to work a front post double crochet around the posts of each of the next 2 stitches, but 2 rows below. So for this first row, if you count in 1, 2, you're working around the post of that next stitch because we're working in the 3rd stitch of our row. You're going to yarn over, bring your hook in front of your work and insert your hook around the post of that next stitch, 2 rows below from front, around back, and out through the front again. You're going to yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 more. You're going to do that around the post of the next stitch. Next, you're not going to work into the tops of the stitches in behind those 2 stitches. When you work your front post stitches, it's as though you've worked into those stitches. So you're going to then work a half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. We're going to repeat this all the way across. Work a front post double crochet around the posts of each of the next 2 stitches, 2 rows below. Then work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Repeat this all the way across until you come to your final stitch. When you are working your front post double crochet stitches, you will want to make sure that you are pulling them up to the height of your half double crochet up in the current row that you're working in. Otherwise, your blanket may bunch up a little bit. Once you come all the way across your work, you're working your final 2 half double crochet stitches into your final 2 stitches. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Then from row 4 onward, you're going to repeat your rows 2 and 3. The only difference being is that when you work your front post double crochet stitches, you'll be working around the posts of the front post stitches 2 rows below. So it's going to make it really easy for you. There's no counting. I'm going to work across my single crochet row, and then I'm just going to show you what I mean here. So you'll repeat rows 2 and 3, and you're going to repeat those rows until your work from the beginning measures approximately 55 inches or until it reaches the desired length. So you can work it for as long or as short as you would like. I'm almost on my repeat of row 2. Chain 1, turn your work. Work your half double crochets in each of the first 2 stitches, and then work your 2 front post stitches. This time you'll be working them around the posts of the front row post stitches 2 rows below. So you're going to have these continuous straight cables working all the way up the length of your blanket. Repeat that all the way across and continue to repeat that until your work from the beginning measures 55 inches. You're going to finish off on a repeat of row 2. So you're going to finish off with that single crochet row, and then it is up to you if you would like to add a fringe to the edge of your blanket. Now once you have worked your blanket and have finished off on that repeat of row 2, it's time to add the optional fringe if you would like. I'd just like to show you how I make my fringe. What you're going to do is you're going to cut 3 lengths of yarn, and my pieces of yarn are about 10 to 12 inches long here. I cut 3, and then I insert my crochet hook into the space where I would like to attach my fringe. For my fringe, I work about every 2nd stitch. You're then going to pull your 3 lengths of yarn through and fold them over so that they meet evenly at the end. All I do then is take all the strands into my hand and work a simple knot. I love this knotted fringe. It holds up well in wear and wash, and just adds a little bit more of a finished look to the end of my blanket. Once you've worked your fringe all the way across, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to trim off any stray strands that might be a little bit too long and even them up. But that's all there is to working your cozy rice pudding blanket. So thank you so much for joining me. If you happen to make this blanket and post it on social media, do be sure to tag Rich Textures Crochet. I always love to come by and admire your work. This is what the back of your blanket looks like. I don't know if I showed you that at the beginning of the video, but for those of you who are still around, that's what the back will look like. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, happy crocheting. Bye.